YouTube says okay, so hopefully we're streaming now. All right. So let's see. All right, so I'd like to do these guys. It's hard to see them because I forgot my pen. So because I forgot my pen, it's hard to see what's going on here, or my pencil, when I went to get some coffee. And I was going to draw this. So I want to draw a red card this time. And I'm going to tackle immigration, right? And I'll tackle the immigration by looking at, the wall building thing from back whenever it was. So basically what I have here is I have a bulldozer of some kind doing bulldozery things, but it's doing it to people, right? Like that. So that's basically what I came up with today. I'm having a lot of trouble with red issues because I'm trying to decouple them from the really worst of the attacks. So I want the issues and I want the electors to reflect something sort of real about people, right? I don't want it to reflect people's ideas about other people, right? So, we've got lots of people out there that, are just jerks. What was I looking at? I'm not sure what I was looking at. It was very strange. So, apparently, I was reading an article, it must have been in the Wall Street Journal, I think, by some guy who wrote a book on evil, right? I'm not sure if it was the 90s or the early 2000s or something like that. And he was perplexed by how much we've decided to use the word evil these days. Somewhere, evil has become something we're happy to talk about. But basically, we've reduced the meaning of evil to disagrees with me. Now, this makes a lot of sense, obviously, because anybody who is stupid enough to agree with me must be evil. I mean, they can't just disagree with me because, they're stupid or they maybe came to a different conclusion than I did. I mean, it's, obviously, if I came to the conclusion about something, I'm right because I'm the only clear thinking person out there. I'm not the only clear thinking person out there. The person who made up my opinion and gave it to me is also very clear thinking. That's why I chose to use his opinion. That's the normal way it goes, right? It's not like most people have. I'm afraid this goes for you and me too. Really unique opinions. If you think that you came up with your own opinion, then probably what happened is you just have no idea where you got it from. I am so surprised how many times I've gone around and tried to figure out, or, I've been reading something from, I'm not sure, like, let's pretend it's the 1970s or the 1950s or something like that. And all of a sudden I see this opinion, much better expressed than I'd express it, about something that I thought I'd invented. Right? I thought I'd invented that thing. Thought I'd invented that analogy. Hell, I was just running around yelling and screaming about the labor theory of value. But when I read Marx, when I read Capital, right, a long, long time ago, because I'm an old man. I was reading his labor theory of value, and I was saying, man, this is stupid because of X, Y, and Z, right? And then all of a sudden he was arguing against that exact opinion that somebody else had already come up with, right? already then, already in the 19th century, somebody had seen that problem. And unfortunately, Marx, um, his opinion, his defense of the labor theory of value was completely ignorant, um, which I guess, numeracy is the province of political theorists, right? And so, yeah, I was wandering around yelling for a while. Not so much because he was wrong and I was right or anything like that, but I was imagining myself in a class or something. Yeah, I think I just found. I'm not sure. I may have watched this series of lectures before on YouTube because, I mean, it's old. I've watched a lot of lectures on YouTube. But, it starts off, a lot of these political science things tend to start off with Marx. I'm a little confused by that because Marx is so stupid. Um, the only reason why you read him is because there are so many stupid people that keep thinking his stuff makes sense. Mostly because, again, it agrees with them. Um, but yeah, I mean, I was just sitting there. Did I go off with capitalism stuff on you before? Probably. I was just looking at that. I should do something on capitalism so I can do my capitalism rant on you, but I should not do it right here, right? Because I'm drawing a bulldozer bulldozing people. Bulldozer is probably the easier part, right? Let's see, how do I do this? Yeah, I can't really get the thing here. So the reason why I got this idea, well, I got this idea because I was sitting there trying to figure out some way of criticizing the Republicans without, without just calling them stupid racist assholes, right? Which is what I mostly get. This is very bad. This is really bad because, it's not like the Republicans do a hell of a lot right. But, I mean, there are two problems with that. Neither do the Democrats. And two, I mean, one, neither do the Democrats. And two, um, if you have a completely stupid opinion, like Republicans are racist or something like that, all you're going to do is make sure that anybody who knows a Republican is going to think you're a jerk, and you're not going to really get any more votes. Which means you've just shot yourself in the foot. So this is not a thing you're supposed to want to do, right? You're supposed to want to try to get people to believe the things you believe so that, you know, they'll vote for you, right? That's the goal. They'll vote for your side, and you'll get the sort of things that you think will help people working and stuff like that. But of course, that's not how things work in modern politics. Modern politics, you just call people evil and hope for the best. Right? If I say bad things about people enough, if I say enough bad things about people, probably not enough times, but if I repeat myself over and over on the Daily Show, then people will just believe me because they've heard it so many times that it must be true, even though it's all come from the same sources. Not necessarily the same source, period, but the same sources in general. So, now let's put that there and let's have another here. And then do something like that. Okay. So, let's see, how should I do this? So I was looking for an issue that I felt could be talked about without just running around calling Republicans racists, Nazis, and things like that, because they aren't. And if you think they are, then probably you should spend a little time thinking about stuff, why it is you think, I mean, some of them could be. You have to ask them is the problem. You don't get to make the decision. You don't get to make the choice about whether or not other people are racists. They get to make that choice. They get to decide how they feel about other people, not you. What you're doing is you're trying to, well, I would like to say that what you're doing is you're trying to think of good reasons why somebody would do something that you think is wrong, believe something you think is wrong. But I think that's probably not true. So I think probably if you're saying Republicans are racist, you're probably just not trying to understand the issues. It's a general idea, but I mean, I prefer it if you were saying that you were just misinterpreting them on accident. But I think probably if you do, you're doing it on purpose. But I thought that even though there is a lot of misrepresenting the Republican stance on immigration, that I thought this was one where you could reasonably and fairly lampoon it. I guess reasonable and fairness in lampoons. You might decide that that's not something you can really do. Ooh, I really want to get a look at these tracks, these treads here. Oh, that one's got a better contrast. All right. So yeah, I mean, you might say, well, if you're lampooning something, your whole point is to not be fair to the people, but that's not really true. Um, I mean, your point in general is to, you know, overemphasize some things and not necessarily be fair, but to, well, I guess to try to reinterpret what they're doing in a way that explains something, right? And that may or may not be wonderful, but it should be reasonably fair. It should be something that when somebody sees it, they understand why you're saying that, other than just to try to score points, right? So you see here, I'm drawing this guy. Yes, I would assume that Republicans would not be happy with the way I'm sort of reinterpreting building a border wall. I'm not technically saying that they're building it out of human skulls or something like that. Although I did think of that, but that I'd do that if I were in France, right? Because they have that Celtic past, so the French deserve border walls made out of human skulls, right? But the Americans don't. Mexicans might, but I don't think the Mexicans are talking about building border walls. That looks all too happy. Then we want a thing that I don't know what this does. Okay, but it's there, so we'll add it. Yeah, I know. I'm awful at drawing things like this, but oh, there's a drive up here. Okay, there's a drive in back. Some rivets. And some hard to draw these correctly. Let's see if we can give them a little shape. Not much, but a little will help. So, yeah. So, yeah, building the border wall out of immigrants, I think, is fair. Now we just need to get some immigrants. I think the first thing to do is draw one upside down. Okay. There's one, there's another. The cartooning rule is you make more things than you need. Perspective, not too much. Too much perspective ruins a cartoon, but enough to make it look almost like art. Okay, let's draw another one. Okay. And some more. Oh, look, he's almost. I don't want him facing. We need him facing forward here. We need him to If we're going to see a nose, the nose has to go this way. Right? Behind and in front. I love, let's see, and that guy's not looking good. Okay, this is a dude. Here's another dude. Don't want to make it so complicated that I can't figure out who the hell is who, right? Trying to make fairly simple looking figures. All right, another guy here. Here, let's make that a woman. Still wearing pants though. And yeah, okay. Let's do some random hands coming out. An extra foot. Okay. So that looks like it's about right. So let's try to put these guys together. Hopefully I just knocked my microphone around, so hopefully that'll work out. See, I'm already not liking this, but that's okay. The thing that's going to get me here is, other than bad looking hands, is differentiation. So let's first add some hair here. So we need to differentiate between all these guys somehow. Let's see. It's hard to figure out exactly how to do it. Right, so actually I could have done a little bit right there to give him a slightly different shirt. Got a bunch of t-shirts. Could give him a flannel shirt. And let's give him some differentiation there. Hair. too messy. Don't want it to look too clean. That'll give us a little more contrast. Make sure there's a hint of an ear. Don't need a real one because, well, look at where he is. And let's see. Okay, that guy had hair parted to the right. Let's have this guy's hair part to the left. Give this guy a mustache. Not happy with these hands, but mostly what I want is a mess. And hey, it's looking like a mess. Oops. Let's put another hand down here. From nowhere. Little lines to kind of give some negative space. Okay. Anyways, I'm glad I'm getting a Republican card in. I think the biggest problem right now is that, at least on a national level, so if I'm trying to do a game about national politics, on a national level, there are only two things that I see Republicans doing right now. One is trying to block Democratic initiatives, and the other, let's give them a butt crack. You all wanted a butt crack. I know you all wanted a butt crack there. From an indecipherable human being. It's the kind of people you are. Some more there. So, yeah, we're getting something in here, but I mean, it's just a bunch of random, I don't know what's, right? Well, actually, it's what makes it a big pile. At some point, you just don't know what anything is. You can't tell one thing from another. This is part of the reason why this thing is going to be black right here. To make sure there's a really good distinction between the bulldozer and the people. Another reason why it's black is because it was black in the photograph, but the main reason is a distinction between two parts of the drawing. Okay, let's do some work on these hands and things like that. That's a good idea. Tuck up the shoes, give them a heel. No, that's a horrible one. Shouldn't have free drawn it in there. And I need another shoe. I'm going to do that. I need a shoe in here. Let's do it there. Okay. Let's see. Then the treads here. Treads don't really look like this, but this is how I like to draw train treads. Or tank treads. I know it's not a tank, but it's feeling a little bit like one. Okay. And I don't really know what this thing is doing, but it looks like this guy here. I'm going to call it a wheel. I'm not sure. Maybe a cog. This cog looks like and I found a new way to make a noise. Wonderful. Just making sure my wife's not coming home. Just trying to do something to hang something up, but didn't work. So my door's open. So if somebody comes home, you know, you're going to be able to hear whatever random things show up. Part of the reason why I'm doing this now, the reason why I schedule these for this time, so you don't have to hear, yeah, mostly so that I don't get angry because somebody's decided that even though I'm trying to do something, even though I'm trying to talk to you, it's much more important for me to find the cup they just lost or something else family related like that. Spend a lot of time figuring out where other people lost things, which is unfortunate because I've got a lot of things that I've lost and I need to find those. Okay. So let's see. Oops. One more, two more. Okay. Okay, and of course this guy's just doing his job, so he looks kind of bored. He's sitting on his stool, driving all the immigrants into the wall to make the wall. I don't know that if that's what he's doing. That's probably not what he's doing. Shouldn't say that. It said I was trying to be not a jerk. That's what a jerk would say. Well, leave him with the same black hair. Can't see his eyes. Man, he looks bored. Another bunch of dudes. Part of the reason why, I guess I never got to this, but part of the reason why I've got this is because they're doing a lot of random construction work. I mean, stuff that you don't really understand why they're doing it, sort of stuff. Near the place where I go for my run every morning. They've been doing it for a long time. I think they're almost done. But I see these guys with their little miniature bulldozers all over the place. Right, they were keeping me from running where I wanted to run this morning. And let's give this a little bit higher place than that one. Let's go ahead and make this black too. So for the past 6 to 8 months, when I've been trying to go for my run, there are these guys digging up the bow, digging up the bow. Keeping me from going on my run, or keeping me from, the places where I like to run. Still do my run. I just have to run in places I don't like anymore. I guess I never liked running on those places, but okay, that's looking good. I'm gonna add some detail here just for fun. Don't need it, but it's just for fun. Okay, so let's finish this guy up. What time is it? Not bad, not bad time. I thought because of this, it ended up taking a lot of time. Okay. So obviously what I would prefer to have is Probably should. Okay, so there's some other tracks there, and that's the back. And if we have it back there, then we have a little more of this. We can bring in the other side. It doesn't look very good. Okay. Plate's dry enough. Hopefully it's a big enough mess of people, right? You're supposed to draw in cartooning more than is necessary, right? Because the whole idea is you're exaggerating. That's the whole point of a cartoon. So this is my anti-immigrant cartoon. We called it, what? Exclusionist Engineers. This is going to be a red card. Remember, the whole point of the game is to mock American politics. So this is a long-term thing. I am guessing what the issues are going to be. In the 2022 election, right? And I am going to guess that they will not have solved the immigration problem by then, in any form or measure. They're not going to make it easier for people to come in. They're not going to make it impossible to come in. Nobody's going to win on this one. And they'll use it to make a lot of noise and make people pissed off. And hopefully vote for them and not the other guy. Because that's the most important thing. Nobody wants to solve something as long as they can use it to get votes, I'm afraid. I was talking about that. Yeah, the guy was saying, I didn't finish talking about that. The guy was saying how people have decided that the other side is evil these days. They used to not do that, actually, except for me. But apparently, most people thought the other guys were generally good people most of the time. Just thought differently. I was a jerk. Not like that. I always thought there was something wrong with anybody who dared disagree with me. But, a lot of people just think most people are trying to get along and doing the best they can. But that's changed, according to that guy in the paper. This is likely because, well, can't blame everything on COVID. Yeah, and again, I wanted to do this because it's still going to be here. I don't want to do stuff like COVID or vaccinations because I have no idea if it will still be important in 3 months and in fact, I hope that it won't be. Except as, a way to get rid of some politicians that will remain unnamed that I feel have behaved abhorrently. Mm, that's why I wanted to go to the. I knew there was a reason why I wanted to go to the art supply store. I need another couple of these pens. Let me see, I think I have the 30 around here. I think that's a 30. On top of the 40, that'll probably be fine. No, that's not helping very much. Oh, it's just as dry. So, that's good. Usually they run out at different times. Let's see. Any places where we need a couple more lines? Okay. Okay, so that looks like it. Um, not a work of art, but hopefully it does the job. Come on, mustache man. All right. So there we are. Those are our exclusionist engineers. The first red card, or maybe not the first red card, but the first red elector that I remember. These guys, I don't know what to do with them, but obviously probably we'll have to have some sort of issue that goes along with these guys. Maybe something that boosts a blue candidate that gets these guys pissed off and does something good for them, for the candidate who's got this one. Okay, there we are. Thank you very much for listening. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And we'll do something fun again next week. Bye now.